Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Josh and Artemis Show. Today we have an extra special guest on, which is Mcloughlin. He is a UK comedian, and he's a writer as well. And
look at all you're buzzing today.
I am
Loving
buzzing today.
You're buzzing today.
We haven't done an interview in probably a year now, so this is really cool and exciting for us. You know, we saw him live in August, opening for Ricky Gervais. That was really amazing. He's hilarious. Also, we've got a lot of similarities with him. You know, he's married to a Canadian gal. I'm Canadian. You moved over here for me. So it's just nice.
He's got great choice.
Nice.
He's got great choice. What can I say?
Definitely great taste. So yeah, of course, we are looking forward to speaking to him today. You know, getting to know him a little bit and yeah, just having a nice chat.
Absolutely. So without further ado, we'll bring.
Oh
yeah. Before we do that. Please remember to like the show, share it out, and subscribe. It does really help us a lot and helps us keep the channel going, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. And if you do want to go that little bit further, you could become a Patreon or YouTube member. Links are in the description and the bio. It does help support the show. Thank you to our current Patreon and YouTube members. Your support does mean a lot to us. Helps keeps the lights on.
Keeps the lights on. Keeps the
going.
Keeps the bread stocked up. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
So now, without further ado, we will bring on.
We'll bring him in.
There we go.
Here he is.
Hello.
Yeah, so we were just talking about backstage there because, you know, we watched your show and about the visa thing, you know, about your wife kind of going through that process. And does she have her, is she a permanent resident in the UK now then?
No, she's she came over on a Commonwealth under 30s that visa. And then we got another one. We got a spousal one. I think she has to get one more 2 or 3 year visa before she can apply for permanent residency.
Right.
Oh, nice.
So it's very drawn out in the UK. I wonder if it's
a bit of feedback. Sorry, on your mic.
Oh no, is that me?
Oh, now we've lost you.
That's fine.
A little bit better, yeah.
That's fine.
All
yeah.
right.
Okay.
It was just a bit squeaky there.
I'll tell you what. I'll turn the volume down on my laptop because maybe it's that.
That could be that, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Basically, she's almost in. But the problem is, the closer she gets to being in, the more that Britain seems to just be like collapsing as a country. So maybe we'll make a quick beeline back to Canada any day now.
Yeah,
anytime.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of done like the opposite thing, going from the UK to here, and it's like a similar process though, and it is crazy, like the amount of stuff you have to show just to prove that you're in a relationship, like it. But it
maybe that just shows how many people try to scam it.
That's true. Yeah, it does stop the scam artist, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it is a long process that I'd be like, you know what, fuck this. If it wasn't real, like this isn't actually very worth it, I'd forget it. Just
there's plenty of single guys in Canada. You didn't need to, but
that's true.
Yeah, but
I think
on the best one.
Yeah, I think it's really we found it really tough, and it's like Kafkaesque, really, because you're sending them photos, bank statements.
Yeah,
it's like sort of information stuff that you were doing like 4 years ago that you thought was just nothing. Ends up becoming like the incriminating evidence in your love life.
Yeah, for sure. With the bank statements, it's like, don't look at what we're spending. Just yes, he lives here. This is his address.
Yeah, I mean,
it's nothing to do with the government. How much I'm spending on Pop-Tarts? Okay, it's just let me. My lack of dignity is my own business. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's a similar thing here because we've got this thing because I've got like an addiction to pot noodles. Yeah. And like we get them delivered from the UK. Yeah, healthy and well, there's like two things. There's pot noodles and cheese and onion walkers, and those are the two things that I need in my life. So that's pretty much what the bank statement was. Just pot noodles. You've got
me addicted as well. Thank you very much. So
to pot noodles.
I love a pot noodle. Yeah.
There must be instant noodles in Canada though.
There is. Yeah. Like before pot noodles came into my life, I would enjoy a good Mr. Noodles.
Mr. Noodles. I haven't tried those.
Yeah, they're not as good though because in a pot noodle they actually put like different ingredients in, like a bit of corn, It looks like green onion.
I wouldn't say that. I think ingredients is a big word to use for what's in a pot noodle.
It's a very exaggerating term. Yeah.
It's sort of matter. It's sort of other matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a little bit elevated from Mr. Noodles. Mr. Noodles is straight up noodles. You got the little packet to add it.
Yeah.
And
why haven't you shown me these noodles?
Because you're obsessed with pot noodles.
I know, but I need to try it all.
Are they in a pot, or are they in a packet? Because they sound like they might be similar to super noodles.
You can get both. You can get them in a package where you just get the noodles like they're like crunched up, which I know it's not as good for you, but I've eaten that raw. Like that was a thing growing up, is like looking back now, noodles. I'm kind of like, wow, did I really do that? But I did. It was like a thing. You were kind of like cool if you brought in like a Mr. Noodles packet. And there's like chicken, beef, and vegetable. And I'd always get the chicken, but you know,
it's the OG.
Yeah, chicken was the OG for me. Yeah, the chicken flavor, but yeah. So
I'm finding this fascinating that these are the only two things you import from the UK, aren't they?
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because growing up, it was like a treat for me having a pot noodle, I guess, because we didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah, you threatened to call your mom.
I did. I threatened.
Called child services on your mom when she wouldn't give you one.
I did. Yeah. So Mrs.
It sounds like she's being a pretty good parent in that. Yeah. You can't just eat pot noodles.
Yeah, and she reminded me of this because she's actually here now. She's come to. Well, this is the first time I've seen her in like 2 years because we don't have a lot of cash to like spare for flights and stuff, and so she's here now, and she reminded me of that. I called child services on her when I was a kid.
I know, but she's a great cook. So I'm like, I think I'd prefer her actual cooking, but pot noodle is like a comfort. But no, there's a lot that's available in the supermarket already, like Marmite. Mm-hmm. We could just get that at the shops.
A little bit of Marmite, yeah. But it has to be the right amount. If like you go over that line with Marmite, you can't use it.
Yeah.
The line is it's less than you'd think as well.
Yeah.
Like because if you put what you'd normally put on a knife to spread for like if you're doing butter or jam or if you put Marmite, that much Marmite on like a slice of toast, you're in hospital.
I did make that mistake.
You're in hospital for a week.
I'm like, God, this tastes like shit. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, because I have tried to like get you to like it, but it's just not working, is it? It's not working.
No, I don't mind it. It is like an acquired taste.
Yeah.
So I am. I'll take like a bite of your toast here and there. And it's
Are there any? Because my wife imports a couple of things from Canada, or at least whenever she's over there, when people come and visit us, she's always like, "You have to bring these." And so I'm curious to know, what are the Canadian things that you would?
That's a good question, actually.
Because I can tell you what my wife's is.
Okay, go on.
And I've tried to find equivalents over here, and I do have to say that none of them quite scratch that itch. Is Miss Vicky salt and vinegar?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
like
these are good.
My wife, and she has tried every brand, every store over here. Salt and vinegar. She had none of them replicate what she gets from Miss Vicky's, and I reluctantly, she might be right.
Yeah, I mean that's the same how I feel with cheese and onion Walkers as well. It's got that unique taste which you just can't, and the texture which you can't get in this country.
No, we did find a brand that do specifically cheese and onion, but it's almost like a fancy version because it's like 3 cheese and onion, but it is very good.
Yeah,
and it's a close second, but I actually think Walkers are better.
Yeah.
It's shocking, yeah.
I mean,
Walkers isn't over there. Don't they have like Lay's? Isn't it the same company?
Yeah, but they don't have that flavor for some reason because I think sour cream and onion is better over here, like more popular. Yeah. So maybe that's why. But I should write a letter to Lay's and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Well, I think Lay's is like the same. Isn't Lay's Walkers, but in a different? I think they're the same. Company.
They're the same company,
but they got the same logo. I think they are the same.
They're
the same company, yeah.
Yeah. Just like
one of them's probably made in friggin' Saskatchewan. The potatoes aren't right.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, what's like the differences you've found? I mean, because for me, it's not really big stuff. But I can remember when I first came here, the thing what blew my mind was bags of milk. I mean, have you come across this?
It's a sick country.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's really funny.
I honestly don't know what the Canadians are doing, holding on to this bagged milk thing. They're the only country in the world where this happens. It's not even like it's happening in the States.
Not even that. But it's only, I found out this like in the last few years, it's only in Ontario that they do the bags of milk. Every other province has the big jugs or the cartons. And we, for some reason, are so special that we get bags. And I'm like thinking, well, why does the company even cater to that then? If we're the only province who wants that for whatever reason, like I would just say, like, shove it. You need to get the carton or the jugs.
And like
Doug Ford would never let that happen. Not on his watch.
No, there's no way. But it does cause some arguments at times because I'm the one who usually has to cut the milk.
It's an art.
Bag.
It's an
and
art.
And there's an art form to it. I always get it wrong.
No, you have done better. But in the beginning, you'd cut like a huge hole, and I'm like, okay, well, unless you want like half a cup of milk with your coffee.
But there's just the whole thing in the morning to make sure you cut the bag correctly. But I
usually just try to get in there and do it. But But no, you've done better.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah.
You know how to cut the bag.
Yeah.
See that? How long have you been in Canada now?
2 years nearly.
So there you go. And you can cut the bag now. So that's
only taken 2 years.
That's 2 years well spent, I think. Yeah, they say if you travel, you broaden your horizons, and you've done that.
For sure.
Yeah,
and
that and the compost.
That and the compost, So I've finally got to grips with the compost thing as well. So that's just a recent thing. I've kind of started to do that a lot more.
Yeah, you like, it's not even, I've noticed it's not even like a thought process anymore.
Yeah, it's just natural.
You used to like take the compost or like the ends of whatever and go to the rubbish and then think, oh no.
The rubbish. I like how you called it rubbish and not trash. That's my influence.
It's a cute word. I like adapting the words actually.
Yeah.
Like the shops.
You say the shops.
I say the shops now, and so do I have 2 girls. And they like to say the shops.
Yeah.
My youngest one goes tomatoes.
So sweet.
Yeah, it's changing. It's changing. Yeah, it's changing.
It's really cute. Yeah.
Do you have any kids or anything, Sean? Or do you have any kids or anything? Or?
No, we don't. My wife always says that she wants us to have, if we ever have any, that we'll live in England long enough for them to get the accent and then get out. You know. Yeah, I think that seems. That's it. I thought that me and my wife were sort of equals in the relationship. We each brought stuff. The longer it goes on, the more I realise she's just using me for my accent.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's fun. I got nothing else going on. So that's all she needs. She better have that.
Yeah, we do like a good British accent, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand because, like,
it just sounds so romantic no matter what you're saying.
Yeah,
you could be talking about the rubbish to me, and I'm just like.
But even when we watch like Wife Swap, because we watch like we went through a phase of watching like the old school Wife Swap from like 2006.
UK,
and the UK
Respect.
version.
Respect.
Yeah, and you actually love all the accents in there as well.
No, not really.
No.
Like there's some that are all right. And I think the Liverpool one is kind of annoying.
Oh, yeah, the Scouse.
But I'm also not a Liverpool fan. We're Man United fans in this house. So that's why,
Very curious. Is that a Northeastern accent, Josh?
Yeah, so I grew up in the Northeast, but I was born in Keighley. So like Yorkshire, of course. But no, but I grew up. I don't know if you know Carlisle. Do you know where that is?
Yeah,
like the north?
Yeah, up in the Lake District, right?
Yeah, so it's probably about 20 miles from there, like a small village kind of thing. I grew up. But yeah, I've been a Man United fan since a young kid, really.
Wow.
He took me under his wing.
Yeah.
When we met.
But yeah, it's a shit show at the minute. I've kind of like, I've introduced you to Man United at the wrong time, really.
Yeah. Well, we just go back to the glory days. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched the new Beckham documentary?
Oh, I loved it.
We actually watched it twice because Josh's mom wanted to watch it, and we're like, yeah, get in. Like, we'll watch that happily again.
Yeah.
So we watched it twice through now, and it's really inspiring. And like, I loved getting kind of like a behind the scenes of David, but also of Victoria. You know, like I only knew her really from Spice Girls, so I didn't know a lot of like personal things about her. So it was nice to kind of see that.
Yeah. I mean, that is the glory days of Man United, wasn't it? But he was It's interesting that, and apparently he, funnily enough, wasn't the rumor always that his favorite thing after a game was to eat a pot noodle?
Was it?
No, I think so. I think if you look that up, it didn't make the cut of the documentary, which means maybe it wasn't accurate.
That makes me love him even more.
Yeah,
that would make incredible. That would be credible narratively for this conversation if it was.
Yeah, it would have
perfect if you just dropped into the conversation now and just expanded on that. I'd love that.
Oh, fun.
But
they should have included that.
But like, to me, it was like great to watch it, but it was also it also wound me up a little bit, because like when you look at the players we have now and the kind of like the mentality of like the Manchester United squad now, it's just nowhere near what it used to be, and it's just scary, the drop off really we've had.
Well, I support Queen's Park Rangers, so with the greatest respect, all Man United fans don't know anything about life, because I support one of the worst teams in the country. And I've taken my wife 3 times. She's never seen us score a goal. She's never seen us. I think she's barely seen us have a shot.
Yeah.
Like, she's a trooper. But, like, it's not like supporting Man United, this big glamorous club, 75,000 seats in the stadium, all these famous old players. You go to QPR, it's basically a concentration camp in London. Filled with the angriest men you've ever met in your life. It's like one of the most least romantic places. Yeah.
I mean, you've had some great players in the past. I mean, I can remember in the 90s when I used to start to watch football, really. You had like Les Ferdinand. I used to love him.
Yeah.
And then
Trevor Sinclair.
Oh,
it's the best. I should have worn my shirt. I should have worn my shirt for the interview,
Should have, I mean, which players do you like for Manchester United? Not QPR, because I'm guessing you don't know any. But,
no. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have done more research.
Trust me, you're fine. You're better off never knowing.
Well, I think the last time I checked the championship table, you were 22nd, I think, or 21st in the championship table.
Yep, that'd be accurate.
That would be it.
That'd be us.
But
not very well. Maybe you're due for a comeback.
But I mean, but
current players would be probably Bruno Fernandes. He has the right mentality. He just gets in, gets the job done. We'll pick up kind of wherever needed. He just has a great mentality around the game. And, he is the captain this year officially, which is really great. I think he kind of always had that leadership in him. But yeah, Bruno, Casemiro's great. Martinez, although I'm a bit worried about Martinez. I think now that he's had that ankle injury, I don't know if he'll be the same player again.
We'll see.
The Achilles heel is a bitch. Like, I've had mine and it's a bitch. So I don't know. We'll see. And I'm not a football player either, so I don't have that huge impact on it daily like he would. So
it's like a lot more injuries now because there's so many games. Like we had a World Cup in the middle of the season last year, which was crazy. Well, it was great. It was a great World Cup. We actually watched it. We went to I'm not sure if you know this pub in Toronto. What's that pub called?
Queen and Beaver.
The Queen and Beaver pub in
Shout
Toronto.
out to Queen and Beaver.
Don't know it.
Yeah, but we watched like all the games there and stuff, and it was a great World Cup. It was just weird to have it in the middle of the season. I think now
wasn't great.
I think players are suffering now with all that stuff. There's too many games.
I think it was a strange one. I mean, the thing with the World Cup was it was strange where it was happening. The whole thing felt a little bit fishy. I mean, obviously there was loads of corruption around it, and it was that the final was the greatest sporting event anyone had ever seen, and so that kind of all the negativity just got washed away.
Yeah.
But how big is it over? How big is football over there? Because whenever I go over, I know hockey's always going to be king and basketball's massive, but like.
I mean,
it feels like soccer's like genuinely. I feel like it's broken through in North America. The last decade, it has actually,
For sure. I mean, I actually I remember as a kid, like I'd be pretty much the odd one out. I'd be playing with the boys, soccer during recess. Like I genuinely enjoyed it. I mean, my dad is Greek from Greece, so he kind of was trying to drill that in me, I think, from a young age. But like it's always there. It's one of the top sports, but definitely hockey would probably be the top one. I don't really watch it at all, actually. Hockey.
I'm curious. Have you taken the ice hockey at all, Josh?
No, I can't. I can't. It's
okay.
To me, there's just no other sport but But football for me, I'm like that. Yeah. I'm obsessed with football. I mean, I have been since I was a kid. It's like one of the loves of my life is watching the football. I'm not just United, but I love watching all.
I've seen some hockey games, like more provincial, not like the Leafs or anything. But I have, like, when I was much younger, like 17, 18. But it's not. It's, you do it because it's like a social thing, but not because I really enjoy it. I probably couldn't even explain the point system either, to be fair.
I couldn't tell you what a point is. I could tell you what a puck is, and that's pretty much as far as my knowledge goes, really.
But I've seen the Blue Jays play baseball, but I think me and my sister walked off after a while because it went on for ages. Like, it was hours. It was in the middle of the summer. It was like really hot, and we were like, all right, this isn't ending anytime soon, is it? So we ended up leaving. But again, it was like more of a social thing. My sister likes to go sometimes, but that's how I felt about the baseball as well, because my dad used to always watch the baseball and stuff, and and it used to go on for hours, and so it gets
it is funny that, like, baseball, I always like the novelty of it. Like, if I go to, I saw the Blue Jays once, I think, and I've been to one game when I was in New York. I really like it, but I sort of, that will seeing one game, that will sort of fulfill my curiosity for years. For 5 years, I go, all right, well, I've done that. But I really like hockey now. I have to say, I'm really.
What team do you support then?
I support the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's shocking.
They're not bad, though.
I always pick, if there's a shit team to support, that's who I'll pick.
That's who you want to support, yeah.
But at the
bottom of the league.
But also, that's, my wife's from near there, so, like, we've spent time there, a bit like friends there and stuff. So
it makes sense. Nice. We haven't been. But
I think it's like it's an amazing. I mean, it's so fast. It's so skillful and so violent. It does take a while to get into, like, understand the flow of it. It's a very different beast, but I do like it.
Yeah, it's not terrible. No. But because you're not into it, or you don't want to get into it, it's like, well, I'm not going to just.
It's just my obsession with football is so bad. I mean, I watch everything. I watch all the fan channels. I watch everything, and I don't have time to, like, introduce another sport to my life. It just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So you never watched like rugby or cricket?
Oh yeah, I did used to watch the rugby. Yeah, my dad used to be into rugby. I used to play at school a little bit as well, growing up. But it's in terms of the sports, football, the rugby at times, especially if, like, the World Cup's on, I'll check it out.
Football's the best.
Football's the best. You just can't beat the passion.
It's just great.
Yeah. But I came across something the other day, and it was an American sports show. It might have been on ESPN or something, and they listed off the best athletes of all time in their eyes, the top 5, and number 1 was Babe Ruth, the former baseball player. Babe Ruth. And it's just, that's why I think it's
like Americanized.
But it's like, that's just some guy from the pub to me.
Yeah, he's like he is mad.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's
really love him.
Yeah, it's weird.
I find it.
We're different. Canadians are different from the Americans. I was very offended by that. It's like, hey, we are not the same. We are like the upgraded version. Okay.
I know, but I always like to. I like to make fun of my wife and say that she's just a glorified yank.
Yeah. Have you done any gigs in America before? Have you done anything there, or?
Yeah, I've done a few. I went over a few years ago, did clubs in New York, and then I did a few. I've had 2 stints there this year. I was with Ricky for both of them, so we did New York and LA.
Nice.
And I was doing sets on top of the big tour support stuff.
Yeah.
And I always do shows in Canada whenever I'm over there.
Yeah.
So I like doing the kind of North American thing. It is different. Like, the comedy clubs feel different. The way audiences react is slightly different from the UK and from Europe.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I always enjoy doing comedy in other countries.
Nice.
How was that tour with, like, Ricky? And you have done one with Bill Burr as well. We saw that you opened for him. right?
Yeah, that's right. I opened for him at the Royal Albert Hall in London.
Yeah, that's really cool.
A few years ago. Yeah, it was wild. I feel so lucky. You know, I feel like doing tour support is so great because I always say I get to play these amazing venues, play the same crowds as the famous people, but I don't have the hassle of having to get famous. I can just sort of, you know, I don't get bugged. I don't have to work hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get the money that they get, I guess, but it's like I did that. You know, it was in the Toronto show you saw with Ricky, with this huge arena.
Yeah.
And then I was, you know, I'm basically famous for an hour after the gig within a mile of there, and then the next day everyone's forgotten about me. Like that's such a nice. Like I get to have that moment and then basically be anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you get to like talk to like Bill Burr or Gervais beforehand and kind of learn from them as well? I guess as well.
Yeah, you hang out a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's still like a professional thing more than like a super personal. Yeah. But like I've been touring with Ricky for a while on this one, and so we chat before the shows. We talk about what we think the show will be like, especially if they're in other countries. Those Canadian shows were two of the best we did on the whole tour, I think.
Yeah,
we did.
There was one complaint we had, one small complaint about the sound.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
out of
arena
your control, really. It's the sound tech
was crap. There was like one whole side of the arena where people were just getting up to complain about the sound.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that near where you were?
It was. Yeah, it was on our side. Yeah. So it was
like echoes.
Yeah.
I guess. But I mean, we could still hear about 90% of the jokes.
Yeah, but there was people on Twitter trying to get Gervais to like refund their tickets and stuff, and it was ridiculous.
And like he's going to be asked to try to do this as well. It's like, I mean, contact Ticketmaster if you want. Like,
exactly.
You know, but
I guess that kind of it's hard sometimes when you do stand up with those huge arenas that are built for a different sort of acoustics.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, for sure. But no, that's really cool. And like, of course, that would mean like a lot to you being able to kind of travel around with these people, learn from them. You know, you can see kind of their journey. Like, is there anyone who really, you know, inspires you in the comedy world? Like, who would be like the people you kind of look up to and say like, you know, this is kind of where I want to be or anything like that?
I don't know anymore. I mean, I used to always like look up to loads of UK comedians, loads of Americans. It's I think that it's funny now because, you know, the world has changed so quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so hard to, you know, being like a big famous mainstream comedian is a very difficult thing to achieve now because society, you know, there's no uniformity in society.
Yeah.
I've always really, I tell you what, Bill Burr I really loved. I always loved Bill Burr, and I've loved how it took him a long time because he was not a spring chicken when he broke through.
No.
Yeah.
Like he hit like I did that Royal Albert Hall show was I think the biggest show he'd done at that point, and that was his 50th birthday.
Really?
Like, that's a long road.
Yeah, we actually watched that show last night on Netflix.
On
Netflix, yeah.
Well, yeah, because Josh's mom hadn't seen him before, so we're like, oh, okay, we got to introduce you to Bill Burr then.
That's a great show. That Netflix. Yeah. It's I suppose people like that. I mean, the Canadian Norm Macdonald. I always think is one of the greatest comedians of all time. Loads. I mean, the thing is like I'm inspired by the big names. And then I'll go and just do like a shitty open mic night. And then I'll see, and I'm doing new material and I'll see some new comedian. I go, wow, that's brilliant as well. Like I do just love it in all forms.
Yeah, because it's great. And we actually saw Jimmy Carr on Joe Rogan a couple of days ago. He was on there and he was saying it's like a golden age for comedy at the moment. Would you agree with that, do you think? Like it's a golden age at the moment for comedy? Yeah, I think
comedy always gets better and better. I know it's hard to understand that because people always like certain things from the past, and there's still loads of stuff from 20, 30 years ago that I love more than stuff that's being made now. But I just think comedy's always evolving, always changing. More people are doing it than have ever done it. More people want to do it. More people want to see it. It's it's an incredible time for the art form. It's incredible. People like, you know, so I suppose it is a golden age. I mean, there's amazing stuff, and if I don't know, I always think if people go like, oh, there's no good comedians anymore, everything's crap, I always think, well, just comedians.
Yeah.
Just go and just keep finding other ones. There's so many great ones out there.
Yeah, you can't generalize it. Just because if you didn't like one, it's not one is the same as every other one. Like you'll find your style basically anyway.
I always think, you know, there's always good stuff. It's just, you know, sometimes it's harder to find it. It's the same as music. Everyone says, "Oh, music used to be better; it's got worse." You know, well, it has. I don't think it's got worse. It's just we were younger, and you know, we knew what was going on.
We had different styles back then.
Yeah,
we're showing our age now.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
music these days isn't the same.
Yeah, I mean, I sound old as fuck when I'm talking about movies and music now. I really do. I sound old as fuck.
Movies were so much better back in the day. Yeah, but in some ways it's true. But I just think they're getting less creative with the way. Like in the film industry, at least, like
I think films
reboots and stuff. It's like, no, just get new ideas. You know, we don't need
that's hard. I think mainstream big budget Hollywood has got worse.
Oh, for sure.
But there's still great dramas and great, like there's other stuff being made, but it is funny. I think film is the one thing where I don't know. I guess they're worried about it, and people don't go to the cinema as much.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just weird how like the lines kind of changed about what you can and can't talk about. I mean, do you find that when you're kind of planning your sets, I guess, what you can and can't talk about, do you worry about going over the line, if that makes sense?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is stuff, but not because I don't do edgy stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess I wouldn't worry about it. I just don't.
Would you ever expand to more like controversial topics or kind of pushing that boundary at all? Or
I mean, only if it was something I was actually interested in doing. I wouldn't do it just for the sake of doing it, because. But even if I did, like I know loads of people. I just there's the whole thing about, you know, comedians don't know what to say and going over the line. I think a lot of it isn't. I think a lot of it is like a story that's online and that people say in columns and on Twitter, and actually if you go to any comedy club, most people can say whatever they want. Like I actually think in the real world most people are relatively mature about it.
Oh, correct.
I don't know. I sort of think it's like it's an easy thing to rile people up about oh, the comedians can't say anything, but they can. I mean, maybe they can't, you know. I mean, as long as you're not being like massively racist, you can kind of still say what you want, and maybe people won't find it as funny. But like, I mean, maybe that's wrong. That's my take. I've always felt like, as long as you give it 2 seconds of thought, you know, most people will give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and I think comedy is kind of relative anyway. So some people will find it offensive or not funny, but other people will be like laughing their ass off, thinking, sometimes the world is so depressing, you need to laugh at what's going on.
I think,
you know, it makes you feel a little better.
I think now more than ever, comedy's like so important to people. You know, it is for us. You know, we watch a lot of it. We watch a lot of stand up and stuff. And
I'm an amateur comedian in the household for sure.
Yeah, I've got to put up all the jokes. Yeah, I've got to put them on.
You should do shows. You should do shows. There's a great scene in Toronto. You should do shows.
No, I probably wouldn't do well.
Well,
but I just think I'm very funny.
I did improv. Yeah, you did improv at school.
In drama, improv, and so I love doing improv. That was fun.
Yeah,
really fun. I liked it a lot. Yeah, but no.
Yeah,
I'm just the comedian of the household. That's all.
Yeah,
well, you got to start small.
Yeah.
Grow my audience.
Has there been times when like your wife's kind of said, "Oh shit, you shouldn't have said that, Sean," or anything, or?
Maybe. I mean, you make mistakes. I mean, for the most part, I'm a very dull person, so I don't really have any opinions that are particularly offensive or content. I don't think anything that's, I'm a very kind of calm, sort of live and let live kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think being a stand-up comic is. I never worry about that. But I suppose maybe if you're newer, you probably worry about it more, and you never know I guess you have to trust that people will allow you to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And you have to forgive yourself if you do make one. And you have to be able to accept that maybe sometimes you will get it wrong, because that's just the price of being a comedian. Sometimes you'll say that I've definitely said things, I've phrased them badly, or I've given the wrong impression of myself. And a couple of people come up and go, oh, that sounded like you were having a go at this type of person or that. And, you know, and
like, it's comedy, guys. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
It's not that
deep. But also it's like, sometimes people get over offended, and sometimes the comedian genuinely has made a mistake and has said things badly. They are both possible to happen at any time. And but most of the time, nothing has really happened. And you know, it's a very easy thing to write about or tweet about.
Yeah.
But actually, go to most comedy clubs, you're hearing all sorts of shit.
Sure.
People say anything, and every type of person will be in that audience, and they'll all be laughing.
Yeah.
It's you know. That's what I'd say.
When people are paying to go see somebody, and they've already, like, let's say Bill Burr, and like they already know what to expect because they are obviously a fan and they've, you know, bought a ticket, and then they get offended. It's like, but you know what you're walking into. Yeah. Like you know what to expect.
You know what to expect. Yeah.
So, you know, it's not the joke isn't targeted directly at you. So, you know, you kind of have to remember that. It's like it's pushing the boundaries, but comedy always has, and you kind of have to remember that and like just appreciate the joke. Like sometimes life is very serious, and so we need that balance. Like we need comedy to be there. Otherwise, you know, shit gets depressing very fast.
Yeah.
But there's always been that. I don't think it's a new thing either. There's always been people who thought the comedians would some jokes shouldn't be said, and asked, you know, it's always existed. It feels these days like it's more pronounced, but I don't know. Day to day, I still think most people are reasonable and nice and understand that you can have disagreements about stuff.
For sure. I think it's social media really, but like you said, if you speak to someone on the street, 9 times out of 10 they're going to be a reasonable person for me. And so you know, you get the odd bad egg, of course, but you know,
that's anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world as well. So
I suppose the thing with comedy is it's such a thing that it connects with people so much.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is it's such an emotional, it's built on emotion and connection with an audience and words.
Yeah.
And as a comedian, it's like you'll go over the line or you'll phrase something badly and it comes across far more offensive than you thought.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's you like playing a bum. Like if you go see a band and they play a bum note, you go, oh, he played that note wrong, and you're still in the room. If you see a comedian and they do an equivalent of a bum note, they possibly ruin the atmosphere.
Like the whole night. Yeah.
It's a very fragile thing, and so I don't know. But I also think the public are more aware of that now than they used to be, and the public are like they go into comedy kind of more literate about what it takes and the trial and error. It's funny. I mean, I always just think it's like if people are laughing, then it's probably fine.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
it's probably fine. And if they're not, then the problem probably isn't. Sometimes I think there are some comedians who go, they're not laughing because they were offended. I think we'll just make the jokes funnier because there's plenty of offensive comedy that everyone laughs at. You know?
Yeah,
it's true.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, how did you kind of get into it all? Because you know, I think you mentioned on one of your specials as well that you were actually running to be a politician or something as well when you were like 15. So how did you kind of get into stand-up, if that makes sense?
Well, I was a very precocious kid.
Yeah.
I was at uni in Newcastle.
Oh wow!
And I just started doing it. I always wanted to do something creative, and I always liked making things and writing things. And the best thing about stand-up compared to most other art forms and stuff is you don't need anything. You don't need equipment or like a place to. You can just bring yourself to a show and then you can do it. So like being in a band or making a film, it's like there's a lot more barriers of entry.
Yeah.
And I just sort of started doing it because I wanted to do something, and I didn't know if it was even something I wanted to do forever. And then it just slowly snowballed and became my job. And then it just kept escalating and escalating. And now, I feel very lucky that I think stand up as we've said, like as having a moment now where loads of people are into it from all over the world. Yeah. And I sort of was able to come up at the exact point where I'm now able to travel to so many places because stand-up is so popular worldwide now, way more popular than it was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Because of YouTube and Netflix and Instagram.
Yeah.
So like I feel very lucky.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And has because you have done bits and bobs of TV work, and you mentioned you've got stuff in the pipeline. What you're working on as well. So that's what I think's great as well. What it can kind of it can expand things for you, can open doors as well. So it's good to see that you've branched out into other things too, and you're working on some TV stuff as well.
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of I've done like stand up on TV.
Yeah,
and, I've done all of that and panel shows and stuff. But yeah, I love writing scripts and making things. I'm trying to make sitcoms, and there's a couple that might happen. But it's a very stand-up comedy is such an immediate process. Mm-hmm. You write the joke, you turn up, you get immediate feedback. You know whether it's good or not. Whereas making television or films is very slow and you have to. It takes a lot of time to pull people together and to get everything in place. But I enjoy. The one thing is about stand up compared to that is I find stand up is so solitary, and you're on your own a lot, which is I don't mind. I'm used to it, but it is nice working with people.
Yeah,
look at you two. I mean, I'm so jealous of this dynamic.
It's crazy.
You always have company.
No, I mean we don't. Yeah, it's crazy because we're literally just two normal people in a basement, and we're talking to you. It's like it's pretty random, but but we really enjoy it, and it's lucky that we do genuinely love to work together because there's some couples who obviously think it's a nightmare to work together. So we're lucky that we can do this. Yeah,
I couldn't imagine doing it alone. That's for sure. I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't think I would do like a show on my own for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, you never know where stuff like this leads as well. I mean, that's the thing with stand up with stuff like this. You never know. I mean, the world it moves in such weird places. As long as you just if you just hang in there, keep in the game, you never know.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, the ultimate goal is to be able to do this full time, for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully, one day down the line,
Yeah, I mean, it's our passion. I mean, we don't. I mean, you've got a normal job. I'm currently looking for work, so I haven't been able to because I've been waiting for my PR to come through, so I haven't been, legally able to work here. Yeah. So yeah, it's been tough, but it's this is our passion. This is what we want to do, and like you said, we do want to expand into doing more stuff as well. We have a lot of interest in the media, so
we're just creative people as well. Like we both have backgrounds in like music. I've done some theater and like improv. Like it just feels really natural when we do this. I mean, at first we were like, this has almost been 2 years now that we've had a YouTube channel. But like at first, like we were like nervous as fuck every show, just thinking, oh my God, how are we going to do this?
We're shitting our pants. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we would do it and feel like, oh my, like what a buzz, like feels so good doing it.
Everything was scripted as well. When like we first started, well, not scripted, but we had like an outline of everything we wanted to kind of talk about.
Well, especially if we've had a guest, we're like, okay, we need this question. Yeah. But it was never scripted because like my brain wouldn't work that way.
No.
Like we didn't write out what we were going to say. It was just more like make sure that we have a plan for each show. But now we like where it goes kind of organically, like wherever the conversation leads. Like I think that's a lot better, feels more natural. And I think people kind of enjoy that. And you might like, at times like kind of show a bit of emotion or whatever, but we don't edit that like stuff out. Like it is what it is. We put it out there. You either love us or you hate us, or
Oh yeah, there's been times when I've said something on the show and I'm like, fuck, if that gets pulled up by someone, But you know, it's good because no one really sees our show, so we're lucky, really, in some ways.
Yeah, we're not. Well, we're, I guess, global technically, but not really.
Yeah.
But no, it's the craft, isn't it? It's all. That's the thing. You never realise that it's a craft. Talking, stand-up comedy, podcasting, hosting stuff on YouTube. You just get better by doing it more.
Correct. Yeah.
True. I feel like it takes like 10,000 hours to master something.
Yeah.
We've got about 16,000 hours of footage now, so I guess we're on the right track.
We're on the right track. Yeah, we're on the right track.
We're on the right track.
Yeah, you're senseis. You're laughing. Yeah.
What's your like process? How you curate then when you write? When like you're writing, do you have a specific kind of process you go down, or is it just whatever kind of comes out on paper at the time?
Yeah, I think for stand-up, I tend to.
It's a little bit. Sorry, it's screeching again a bit.
I'm sorry. Has it been okay up until now?
Sounds okay now. Yeah.
Sounds better. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe my system's about to collapse. As long as it sounds good now, and we're laughing.
Yeah, I think it's all right. Okay.
I basically just write. I mean, I just write jokes. I just talk to myself. I figure out what's on my mind. If I make an observation about stuff, I'll try and approach it from different angles. It was a very gradual process building up stuff. And then if I'm writing scripts or if I'm writing jokes for other people or stuff like that, I do it far more. I just sit at a desk and I'm more methodical with it. Because I think you have to be a bit more structured with stuff like that. But with my stand-up, it is just trial and error. I'll try loads of jokes. I'll try loads of ideas. The stuff that works, I keep or I develop. And usually it's sort of the stuff will tell me about myself. Like I'll figure out, I realize as I'm doing stand-up, this is my way of processing emotions or opinions or things like that. I try not to put too much pressure on it. I think it's really, because sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes there's nothing happening and you have to just accept that.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, we really enjoyed your special, and I kind of like when it's like situational comedy or using little bits of your life and kind of twisting it around into comedy as well. So I think you get to know like the comedian a little bit better in some ways. And then it also makes you think, I wonder if that really happened or not, you know? And I keep guessing a little bit, which is always exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I was blown away by that part you were talking about on your special about the horse, where you can like buy a horse
for £40.
For £40. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I think that was all real. I think with the RSPCA, which is the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, I went on their website and I think they listed it as 50 and I changed it to 40 because I thought it'd be a bit funnier.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been told most horses are just given away.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
But I mean, most horses, there are no laws. Like, anyone can buy one. It's very.
If I lived there, that would be my way to work.
It's very strange. Yeah, I mean,
probably the same in Canada. I mean, I guess there's animal cruelty laws. Those are the only things.
They probably think, well, we'll put it cheaper so that more people can. Like let's say like farmers and stuff, it's more affordable and they'd rather a horse go to a home than to like just kind of sit there and wilt away or I don't know how I've never looked into horses here, but I imagine that it's maybe they lower the cost so that way more people are willing to adopt than if it was like £2,000 or like $4,000. Like,
I don't even know what people use. I mean, is it just the farmers? I have no idea. I mean, I assume there's just always a market for horses. I don't know. I guess they're a tool for people.
It's crazy, but like, when you were saying that, I had this kind of photo in like my head of like a council estate with like rival gangs on horses, like that was like the image what was put into my head. I was like, that needs to happen. That needs to happen at some point. I'd love it.
Well, that's the image I wanted you to have, so that's good.
Fighting over a pot noodle.
Yeah. For sure.
So I'll ask a quick question actually. It's a bit of a leap. So you moved to Toronto. Was there how did you meet first of all? I'm sure your listeners or long-time viewers know this, but I don't.
Well, yeah, we actually met on Instagram. So this was during COVID. We met. So it was around about, what, it was like 2020, wasn't it?
2021.
2021. Correction, 2021.
And it was in the summer,
in the summer 2021. And yeah, we got talking onto Instagram. And I think, I posted something on my story and she replied, and that's how we got.
Yeah, he shared like this show. Well, okay, if truth be told, we were actually really into UFOs and stuff at some point. Things are happening, it's fucked up times. Anyway, so we were into that.
I can't believe you've said that.
Well,
I can't believe it.
The truth comes out if he looks on the channel a little bit.
That's true.
He might find shit, So anyway, I know, but
I think there's far worse things to be
into. Fine. It is what it is. It's part of the past. But yeah, so he shared something like relevant, like a show or somebody going on a show. And I never reply to Insta stories either, unless it's like maybe one of my friends. But I don't know why I did. I just didn't. I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to this as well. Never talked, nothing. And his page at the time, like, wasn't like he had like a bunch of pictures of himself or anything. So it was just like, I don't know why I did. I just did. And then we started talking, and it was so random, but we just clicked like straight away.
It was like a whirlwind. It really was. It was like a massive whirlwind.
It was wild. Like it wasn't like sexual or anything. It was just well, it obviously became, but I mean, it turned out that way.
It had some sprinkling of sexual overtones in the conversation. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, long distance. No.
Yeah, long distance, and it was COVID. So
and I mean, but like, it wasn't like I saw your picture, you look pretty nice or whatever like that. It was just very random, but we somehow just clicked like instantly, and yeah, we got to talking. We did like a video chat, and we talked for like hours, and then he was like, oh well, I'm actually at the time you were getting your second vaccination because you wanted to travel during that time, so like, maybe I'll come to Canada. And I was like, yeah, definitely. And then it was going from visiting to, I don't know if you could like leave once you get here. And he's like, I'm just gonna move there. And so we took like a huge leap of faith. And but it just, when something feels right, it just feels right. And although like, we're both in our 30s, like we've both experienced a lot of different kinds of relationships and stuff.
Oh, yes. Horrible relationships.
But I think that only kind of made us feel more sure that what we were feeling was like real and not just this like puppy love. But we were like, yeah, we'll take a chance. If it doesn't work out, we can always get you another flight.
I'll come straight back. It's all good.
So yeah, like our first time meeting was like at the airport, and he had like brought all his stuff over to like move there. But I mean, we knew it was going to be fine, but you always have that little like, well, what if he doesn't like me? But it worked out. And yeah, he's been here ever since.
Yeah.
So crazy. And a lot of people were like, that's not going to last. You'll break up, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, yeah, no.
Which is understandable. I mean, I took my mum for coffee yesterday, and we had a little bit of a chat about this. And she was saying, Josh, I'm not going to lie to you. At first, I was kind of a bit, what the hell is this? Or, what I mean? But once she kind of seen us together and stuff and what we're about, then it was fine. But yeah, I mean, it was a big leap of faith to kind of move countries when we hadn't even seen
each other. We hadn't even met yet, but we had decided, But I mean, looking back, I wouldn't do it any other way.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. In life, you need to take at least calculated, measured risks, like you need to just follow your intuition at times,
for sure.
And when something feels right, you try it. And if it doesn't work out, then, at least you can say you tried and you weren't too afraid. So.
Life's short, and you got to do things sometimes in the spur of the moment. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, I guess.
Yeah. But, how did you and your wife meet? Because actually we were talking about this the other day, and I was like, I don't think that was ever explained or anything. I'm curious.
Good question.
Yeah, we were just both into UFOs on Instagram.
I love it.
No, we met. She was living in Spain. She was working as a nanny in Spain, and we both met we were both on holiday in Portugal.
Oh,
and we met there, and then we were long distance for a year, And then she just moved over here and just took a risk again. It was, you have to, I always think that you have to go for it.
Yeah.
If it's a long distance thing, you just, at some point you should just go for it. And then if you know, you know. And you know, we were always honest as we could be.
Yeah.
And just went like, this might be a disaster, but let's just go for it. And so far, you know, every stage has not been a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar to you. You just go, well, let's see where it goes, because you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, yeah, you're not as young as you used to be, but we're not. We still have a lot of adventures. We have adventures. You have stuff in you. You know, you could. You know, that's what life's about, isn't it? Going for things, and hopefully they work out. And if they don't, just dust yourself down and get back into the UFOs.
For sure, yeah. I mean, the UFOs is always there.
They'll always be there.
Yeah.
We do laugh at it, but also, you know, we will always be kind of thankful for that, you know, because it did bring us together. But like, you know, we're not going to do a show about it anytime soon unless they, you know, invade the whole world, and then maybe we'll chat about it. But until then, you know,
I'd say if they invade the whole world, you should probably mention it on your show.
Yeah,
I'd say because otherwise people will be watching going, "What? Why are they mentioning the invasion?"
Yeah.
Well, let's hope it doesn't. You know, let's hope it doesn't.
Well, next time you're around in Canada, we should definitely meet up.
We'd love that.
That would be really fun.
You know, just we're not stalkers or anything, I promise.
No.
But yeah, if you're in Toronto, I know.
Yeah,
if you're in Toronto, we'll go for a beer.
I'll take a stalker. I could do with one actually. I'm over for Christmas with my wife's family.
Nice.
But not in Toronto. She's from
Cornwall. Yeah.
She's from Cornwall.
I think like 2 hours where we are. Yeah, because we're east of the city, so we're kind of on the way to Cornwall. If you're
like Kingston, like near there, is that? Yeah. See, I know my stuff. Go down the 401.
Yeah, the 401. That's the greatest highway.
Yeah.
Well, I'll send you a message. I mean, it'll be. I think it's a bit of a culture shock because I've only ever had one winter. I've only had one Christmas there so far. I've been with my wife 7 years now. I had one Christmas there. I've never been in the winter apart from that one time. I mean, it is brutal.
It's brutal.
Where my wife's from is like.
Yeah, it's worse than where we live. Yeah, she's like northeast. A little bit. Like,
but you know, basically the winter involves shoveling the driveway daily. And just freezing your tits off all day. That's pretty much what we do. Yeah.
Lots of tea.
Lots of tea.
Lots of tea.
Yeah.
It's still a novelty to me to be that cold, but I bet the novelty wears off pretty quickly if you actually have to live through it.
Pretty quickly, yeah.
It wears off for Canadians as well. But you know, like the summer makes up for it. So
summers are beautiful.
I think that's what like Canadians kind of think of. It's like, all right, but the summers are gorgeous, so just hold on a little longer.
Yeah. No, for sure. Come back. I'm conscious of time because you did say you've got to do something at 12 our time.
I'm doing a show tonight and I've got to leave. I'm doing that. I'm doing the London Palladium with Ricky, so I need to.
Nice. A quick question actually from my mum.
Yeah.
She's in the chat. Who's going to win the Premiership?
It feels wide open this year.
Yeah.
It really does. I still can't bet against Man City just because they've got all the money. And I do think Liverpool look really good.
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal will also be really. I think it's going to be between those three.
I definitely agree. Definitely.
But why not? I mean, there's no reason why like a Brighton or Aston Villa couldn't.
I would love Brighton to win it.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I would love.
They're such a great club. Like their story is so amazing. So,
not like a real thing.
Yeah, they probably won't win it, but they could be. I mean, why couldn't they be a top four?
Yeah. For sure. That's my little brother. There you go.
Liverpool, not Liverpool.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll leave it there, Sean. I don't want to keep you if you've got things to do. But thanks so much for joining us today. You know, we really appreciate it, and you're lovely bloke and stuff. And
welcome back anytime you like.
Hey, thanks so much.
One day and think, what are these clowns doing? You're welcome to come on the show.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I'll keep that in mind. I love that. Hopefully I'll see you in Canada one of these days.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Appreciate it, Sean.
That'd be awesome. Take care, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Take care, man.
Take care.
There you go. Sean Mcloughlin.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a lovely guy. You know, I like his attitude toward things as well.
Yeah, I mean, we learned a lot from him. Yeah. I mean, and it's good, like the similar, the fact that he's got like a similar kind of thing to us, what we went through as well. I do
like that,
which is really cool.
It's nice because it's like, it's relatable, and like, it's not like we speak to people every day who've gone through like our process, and him and his wife kind of met similar ways. They had to kind of decide about long distance.
I think he's the first person we've kind of spoken to about it.
Yeah, well, we did meet that one guy when we were in Vancouver. He was from Manchester.
Worked in the Nike shop, didn't he?
Yeah, and he absolutely loved it there and stuff. But yeah, it's nice to kind of connect with people who've been through similar things, for sure.
For sure.
Positive things, but yeah, just it's nice.
Brilliant.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy, for sure.
But yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If you did miss us live, don't worry. The replay will be on the channel as soon as this finishes. But before we go, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Both really appreciate it. It really helps us a lot.
For sure. And if you would like to go that little bit further, you can become a Patreon or YouTube member. Links are in the description and in the bio. And of course, we have linked all of Sean's social medias, his website, and also his latest stand-up show, which is So Be It. All of that is in the description. So make sure you guys do check it out. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the show, of course. And we'll be back soon. So do make sure you turn on notifications, because you never know when we're going to be live.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.